Isn't that fun?
This is a really old bridge, guys.
Your boat doesn't go fast.
Now, look underneath here, and just up over your head, you can see there are little stones on this side and big stones here. This is where they joined the two bridges. It's the Choate Bridge, built by a Mr. Choate in the 1660s or 1670s, and then the bridge was widened because the traffic was so great that the community decided to widen it, which they did, but it was built by a different technique and by different people. So the small stones were the early construction, the wider stones were later. Now, County Street Bridge, just ahead of it is the remains of an old dam.
Oh, the remains of an old dam. Oh, cool, over there.
And there are rocks in the water here, so I've got to do a kind of a little lateral arabesque to get around them.
Is up there the town hall?
Yeah, the town hall is up there, I believe. Yeah, I think you're right.
And the river walk is right here on the right.
That's right.
Is the town hall up there?
That's right.
Yeah, it's up
This is an old bridge. This is an abutment of an old bridge here on the starboard. And on the port side, this by the block here. And that was the bridge before the County Street Bridge.
Wait.
Here on the left is a brick building called Whipple Annex. Whipple Annex is behind Town Hall. Just recently, 2 or 3 years ago, Whipple Annex was acquired from the town by the North Shore Housing Trust, which has created 8 or 10 of the most wonderful apartments.
Oh.
Single bedroom apartments designed, the whole building is designed, and it's got a portable component. So what a wonderful place. It's right by the senior center, right next to the town.
Did there used to be a school?
The Whipple grade school, and then before that it was a jail, before that it was a mill. So once these fellows put up a building, they got their money out of it. Here's another bridge. This is the Green Street Bridge. The bridge is built in a way that the more weight you put on it, the stronger it is.
We're in what's called suspect terrain, and these rocks from this area actually started off of the South Pole, and they've moved through places all the way up across the equator, and then they attached to Massachusetts. And then, if we were here about 10,000 years ago, there'd be 2 glaciers on either side of us, be about a half a mile thick ice all around us, and the Ipswich River started as meltwater that melted through the glacier and then exited underneath the glacier. So we're following the path of that meltwater down glaciers on either side of us.
Cold water.
Very, very cold water, and it would have been kind of milky white because the glacier crushes up the rocks as it pushes across the land. We had this area was actually rebounding. You had all the weight of the glacier pushing down on the land, and that actually raised the coast. And then when the glacier retreated, that went back down. So actually this portion of New England went underwater for a while. That's why we have all this clay around here. Those are marine sediments, and then it raised back up. And actually, at one time, I mean, everybody talks about sea level rise. Well, when all of this was going on, the sea level was actually the land was rising at the rate of 3 feet a year. So they were 3 feet a year. This was around. There would have been woolly mammoth around and everything like that. Early Paleo Indians, and so they were. Yeah, so they were actually gaining about 36 feet of land every year. So the whole land was just rising up. So what we have here is actually the salt water is in a wedge underneath because the salt water is more dense. It's underneath the fresh water. And right now, the fresh water is coming out over it as the fresh water is, you know, heading down the bay, and everything, as the tide's going out, everything is pulling.
Going out with the tide. And
Yeah.
does the salt water get all the way up to the landing?
It actually gets all the way up to the dam.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And it's the dam that stops it from going
And it's the
on.
dam that stops it. Now the other thing, if you were here about 2 months ago, there would have been all sorts of herring, alewives, underneath us. Main species here. You have the Spartina alterniflora, which is this high grass that's right here on the edge of the water, and then up behind a paytent.